Good day everyone. Today we are going to discover, learn, and understand the folding, faulting, seafloor spreading, and ocean basin formation. First, we are going to tackle about folding. It is a wave-like geologic structure that forms when rocks deform by bending instead of breaking under compressional stress. Or in more easy understanding, it is formed by layers or bed of rocks being bent or folded. It is classified on the basis of several geometric factors, which are tightness of folding, orientation of axial plane, and thickness of folded beds. Tightness of fold. The interlimb angle is used to determine how tight a fold is, or the angle between the two limbs of a fold. Michael Flutie of Imperial College in London established various categories for fold tightness in a famous study that was published in 1964, which is the Proceedings of the Geologists Association. The terms mild, broad, open, close, tight, and isoclinal are modified from his paper. The next one is the orientation of axial plane. The axial plane's orientation is expressed as a dip and strike, or in a more compact form, as a dip and dip direction. The strike is the trend of the horizontal line contained in the surface, as with any other surface, and the angle dip is the angle between the surface and the horizontal plane. Lastly is the thickness of folded beds. It is the distance measured perpendicular to the top between the top and bottom of a unit. Bed thickness can be measured directly across the bed in a completely exposed outcrop. The thickness of a sedimentary rock layer or stratum, measured perpendicular to its lateral extent, assuming deposition on a horizontal surface. Due to the possibility of sediment deposition on inclined surfaces, apparent or measured bed thickness may differ from true bed thickness. Now, in this part, you will see the different types of folds with each illustrations and meanings. And based from my research, anticline and antiform, and syncline and synform is just almost the same. While dome looks like a half of upper sphere, and basin is the opposite of it. The monocline looks like a step of stair. It is also said that monocline rock layers form an S shape, while chevron folds rock layers form a triangular shape. And the rest of the types of fold has the similar looking snake-shaped structures of rock layers.
Faulting. A fault is a fracture or zone of fractures between two blocks of rock. Faults allow the blocks to move related to each other. This movement may occur rapidly in form of an earthquake or may occur slowly. In the form of creep, faults may range in length from a few millimeters of thousands of kilometers. Kumbaga, ang fault daw ay isang malaking bitak sa ibabaw ng lupa. There are types of fault. The first one is normal fault. A deep slip fault is which the block above the fault has moved downwards related to the block below. This type of faulting occurs in response of extension and is often observed in the western United States Basin, in Race Province, and along oceanic range system. Number 2 is reverse thrust fault or reverse fault. A deep slip fault is which the upper blocks above the fault plane move up and over the lower block. This type of faulting is common in areas of comprehensive such as a region where one plate is being subjected under another, as in Japan. When a deep angle is swallow, a reverse fault is often described as a thrust Number 3. Strike-slip fault. A fault on which the two blocks slide past one another. Like the San Andreas fault, for example. The number 4 is left lateral strike-slip. Fault is one on which the displacement of a far block into the left when viewed from either side. The last one is right lateral strike slip. Fault is one on which the displacement of the far block in the right when viewed from either side.
The seafloor spreading. Seafloor spreading is a geologic process in which tectonic plates, large slabs of Earth's lithosphere, split apart from each other. Seafloor spreading is what happens at the mid-oceanic ridge, where a divergent boundary is causing two plates to move away from one another, resulting in spreading of the seafloor. As the plates move apart, new material wells up and cools onto the edge of the plates. Seafloor spreading is a geologic process where there is a gradual addition of new oceanic crust in the ocean floor through a volcanic activity while moving the older rocks away from the mid-oceanic ridge. As we can see, in the picture, the magma comes out of the mid-ocean ridge, cools down, becomes a new seafloor, pushing the two oceanic crusts apart. More magma is pushed through the mid-ocean ridge, which cools into new rock and creates a new oceanic crust. The ocean basin is a bowl-shaped depression in the earth with complex topography along its deep seafloor. All ocean basins are formed from plate tectonics activity, weathering, and erosion. There are 5 major basins coordinating with the major oceans of the world. These are the Pacific Basin, Atlantic Basin, Indian Basin, Arctic Basin, and the Southern Basin. Most of Earth's ocean basins were formed by either seafloor spreading or subduction, the two types of plate tectonic activity. The evolution of ocean basins involved 5 stages. The first stage is the embryonic stage. Rift Valley is formed while the continent begins to split. However, before that, the ocean basin is experienced the rifting and also volcanic at the beginning. The movement that appears in this stage is the uplift of the bottom part of the ocean. The uplift is caused by the rising magma. The second stage is the juvenile stage. Rift valleys gradually widen and eventually connect to the ocean. The third stage is the mature stage. With continued lateral spreading of the rift valley, the divergent plate boundary widens and additional oceanic crust is generated. The fourth stage is the declining stage. Subduction becomes more widespread around the border of this ocean basin. The fifth stage is the terminal stage. The ocean basin closes through the subduction as continents from opposite sides of the ocean basin bear down on one another and eventually collide. The sixth stage is the suturing stage. Collision of the continents is complete and the intervening sea is gone.